All right, thanks for joining me for part 2 of in-service distributions. So you obviously have watched the first video talking about what is an in-service distribution, but I never got into the detail as to why should you consider an in-service distribution. And so I have a real life example from a company 401k. I redacted the information, but I'm going to use that for information purposes for today's conversation as to why would you want to consider using divesting away from the company's 401k, either into whatever else they offer or maybe outside of the 401k itself. So the first thing is, of these 401k options, you say, well, there's 37 investment choices. It must be a pretty good plan, right? Well, of the 37 investment choices, the stuff that's highlighted in yellow is actually 24 of those. So 2/3 of the investment options are an age-based type theme. Again, funds that are prepackaged for you that cost a little bit more, and they are intended to have certain risk in mind. And sometimes the names are misleading. Do they actually change as you approach that age? Do they still seem to be aggressive or conservative? Again, it's very specific to those funds, so you need to read those prospectuses. Again, most people get the prospectus and toss it, assuming that at that age it will get more conservative. Not always the case. Don't want to wake up and have a huge surprise. So of the 1/3 that's remaining, so the 13 investment options that are actually remaining, 3 of those options are actually international funds. So international, it hasn't been in favor for very long periods of time since roughly 2008 during our last recession. They haven't fully recovered, and therefore at periods of time you probably didn't want to have international. So of the remaining 10 different investment options, 2 of those are actually a stable value fund. And of a stable value fund, I would say it's really only one different investment option. So now you only have 8 different truly categorized funds to pick and choose from. So just go back over the last couple of years, as if you were approaching retirement and saying, where should I invest? What's doing well? During COVID, everybody had to shelter in place. And so technology went through a really big boom. Technology funds were very good to invest in. Sure, inside your 401k options, there was technology that was probably present, but could you single-handedly pick technology to invest in? Again, plans, 401k plans are designed to be on the generic side, so you can't put 100% into it, and if it goes boom or bust overnight, you don't make or lose your entire retirement overnight. So they usually remove categories that are very specific, but in the case of I don't have 5 more years to work, or I don't have 2 more years to work, being able to pick and choose and say, well, I'll take a small percentage and put some of my money into it because it's the right thing to do at that time, it becomes extremely important. And so this is why you would say, well, to divest and be able to have these different options available to me could become important. After COVID passed and people started to travel more, energy, oil and gas, different things like that started to come into play. Do you have oil and gas available as an option to pick and choose from inside your portfolio? Yes, again, the mutual funds probably have some exposure to those, but you can't single-handedly pick those things out. Can you invest in gold? Can you invest in real estate? Can you invest in semiconductors, different parts of technology? Again, the real specific stuff is removed from these portfolios, making it extremely important to say, how close am I to retirement? And should I be protecting my portfolio and doing something different and divesting, whether it's an internal option inside your 401k or an external option? Again, that's the reason why we would explore this thing further. So if you want to see some additional tips, check out the next video.